We corporate, you heard? Let's go. Shout out to MF Holy Land, man. You know what I'm saying?
All right, we rolling. We here, man. What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Ra. We here with Villain Talk, man, brought to you by MF Holy Land and 90s Culture. And I got to the left of me, my boy.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Prez One. Check me out. All platforms. This is the first show of Villain Talk. So let's have some fun.
Yeah, let's do this, man. So, Prez, how you doing, man? How's everything
I'm doing
going
good,
with you,
Rob.
man?
I'm doing good, man.
Okay.
Glad to be here. Grateful for the opportunity. And this is going to be dope.
Yeah, all right. So, basically what this show's supposed to be is really where we get on here, talk a little shit, promote some projects that's coming up from the camp, the 90s camp, and, let y'all know exactly what's going on. We might have guests on here. We might not. We might do a couple flips. We might not. But, stay tuned and you might see. Feel me?
Yo, we literally talked about this show a week ago.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more than, let's say something like in the 10-day range. And then now we're here. We only had a few conversations, we had a conversation I thought went really well.
Yeah.
And it just happened out of nowhere.
Right.
Big up to Wavy and Antidote, by the way.
Yeah. Shout
They
out.
had some words in that as well. And we're here. So
let's get into these projects, man. What projects we got coming up?
we got a few projects coming up. February 2nd, we are going to be in Delray Beach. We're going to send that address and the link to this video all over Instagram. Just follow at 90 Culture and at 90 Culture Management, MF Holy Lamb on all platforms. And you'll have all the info for that show.
Right. And then February 22nd, Illadote's coming out, produced by Antidote. That's a joint that's going to be fire. I can't wait to hear what's on that one.
I believe 2 singles are out right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
You and I is out, and there's another one. My apologies, I can't remember the name, but I got my phone right
To
here.
my Peace of Mind.
Peace of Mind. There
Oh
we go.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Peace of Mind's out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Peace of Mind's out, and those songs I gotta say is definitely something different from Antidote compared to other past projects that we've heard, and I just from the sounds of it, man, I think like you said, it's in the name.
Right.
Antidote.
It's interesting. He's probably not gonna say it, but I asked him. I was like, he was telling me, he's like, "Yo, I got these records, man. I kind of want to show my vocal range a little bit." And I was like, "Man, why don't you go ahead and do it? Go ahead and then shit. Maybe a month later, Peace of Mind comes out."
That's sometimes it's just that one sentence, what I mean?
That's
that
it,
really,
sometimes.
and that's the thing about hip hop. Hip hop is so good like that. Like, especially when it comes to ideas, you could like have nothing and then you can just say like someone could tell you like 2 sentences or something, right? And then it would just give a whole project of ideas. Because personally, it's just like, it's like when you start doing something and you don't really know what you're doing, but the more you get into it, you just figure it out as you go. I feel like hip hop writing process, album making, all those things definitely fit into that category.
Yeah. Well, for the record, I didn't give him any ideas for the records. He already had the record,
Right.
But he was making the decision to showcase his vocals instead of just sticking to the rap.
Yo, I'm all for it in hip hop. If you can, if you can be as creative as possible and just try. If you're good at one thing, you're good at one thing. That's cool too. But me, I always think, yo, if I'm so good at this one thing, can I be just as good in something else,
right?
Or in the same lane, just like a different kind of style. Man, we could go on for days with that effect, but that's just the gist of it. And I really think he felt it and he went for it and he delivered. And that's the story of that.
He's getting a lot of because I seen some clips on social media. He performed it a couple of times. I think
yes,
like twice in there. and he's getting some good feedback.
Yeah, after that performance, which was a dope performance, by the way, that is also on the at 90 Culture page. You can always look that live performance up. That was a great performance. That performance actually was the first time I've heard the record.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it might have been my first time too. It might have been my first time.
That might have been the first time he probably released that performance. I can't recall if he released that performance before or after the record actually dropped. But either way,
Peace of Mind, Illadope, February 26th is coming out. Leftovers Volume 3 already came out. That was the 31st. Leftovers 3.
That's out today.
We here.
Wednesday, January 31st. Yes, that's out today, by the way. By the time you guys hear this, it will be not today. But now you know, either way.
Right.
It's out. Leftovers 3. Listen to Leftovers 1 and 2. Just a ton of dope beats on there. Freestyle to them. If you like them, again, hit the website.
Yeah, reach out,
purchase. But all in all, do your laundry, listen to it. You're going to find something in there you like.
Right. So those are upcoming projects that we got. Let's get into this Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion thing, man. You have you heard about that? Have
I've heard about it. I've only read like a little bit of headlines. I haven't heard any of the records. I've heard obviously Nicki Minaj rap. Meg, I know, is a dope artist, so I haven't just got a chance around to it, but I do like to listen to things like that, especially responses or things that just go hand in hand with each other. It's almost like they're telling a story, even though they're kind of beefing. Is it that heavy?
To be honest, with women, I don't know. You can never know because it's a touchy lane. I think male hip hop is a bit different. You start beefing when, maybe someone stole your chain, maybe someone stole your girl, maybe someone stole your car, maybe you guys didn't do good business or something like that. You know what I mean? But in the female world, it's probably like a whole different dynamic, and I don't live there, so the only thing I can speak on is what's being said in the records.
I agree with that statement, but I would also like to add that those, to me, they're Cardi B is dope, but those Nicki and Meg, like lyrically, different, but they're definitely up to par with each other. Yeah. So I'm really interested in seeing how they're gonna test each other's pen game.
Right.
Obviously, in any rap game, board game, sports game, doesn't matter. There's always going to be some conflict of some sort, and this just happened to be rap beef.
Yeah. Do we still appreciate rap beef? Because I'm thinking, is this big enough to go into like a Meek Mill and Drake type of thing? Because Meek Mill and Drake, they gave us this record after this record, and that's the most recent beef that I could speak on, where they took it to the music instead of doing some 50 Cent and Ja Rule type stuff, where 50 Cent's like blackballing this man and making sure nobody messes with him. Ending careers. Is this an ending career type of beef, or is this just something that could be solved with a conversation?
Right. So let's just no careers ended.
Right.
More music for everybody.
Yeah.
And I know some of those Nicki songs are already charting.
What do you mean, like after this incident?
Yeah.
Really?
So yeah.
Wow.
So I read something like that. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
I could be mistaken. But all in all, my point is like, yeah, throw those records back and forth. Get them on the top charts. I know hip hop hasn't been on the top charts in almost all of like 7 months in 2023.
Yeah.
Right? About so. I don't know if 7 months is exactly but regardless, man, more music. Let's keep it safe. Let's keep it fun. But yeah, just kill each other, man. Like I just want to hear it.
Really, because we need that for the
culture.
Okay. So where are we at? The current. So we were talking about the current state of hip hop. Why isn't hip hop on the top charts? What would be your opinion on that? Like what do you think it is?
You know, for a long time, I want to say like 5 years ago, you know, a lot of the stuff was that they had this trend where obviously you guys know, we all know, all that mumble rap. Then that was dead. And then after that, it was just the same sounding stuff.
Right.
Now I feel like we still have the same sounding stuff. I just think people that have their core fans, but I don't think new fans are catching on because everything sounds the same. Not only does it sound the same, they're using the same effects, the same type beats, same style of rapping, one bar, one syllable rhyming pattern.
Right.
You know, and a lot of filler bars. Everyone's looking for that quick catch. That you know, TikTok is good, but TikTok was also like everyone was looking for that 10-second kind of thing. I just felt like, I don't know, lyricism. Even JID said it, like he doesn't even listen to his style of rap that he actually writes, which is lyrical lyrics,
right,
which blew my mind, because if I'm a lyrical rapper, I want to hear what everyone's saying. I try to listen to everything just to see. But what do you think?
Well, you know, I'd like to kind of piggyback off what you said, because I have a similar opinion, but right now I feel like because art reflects life and life reflects art, we're missing substance. You know, there's not enough substance rappers, and I think what the substance that we're getting is where we're glorifying, you know, too much superficial stuff and not enough, you know, for lack of better words, I want to say healing music. Because back in the day, if you listen to like Fugees, or if you listen to you know, Mos Def, or if you listen to Common, or if you listen to Outkast, like they're dropping knowledge, they're dropping gems, and they're also feeding your mind. You feel what I'm saying? It's like high vibrational stuff, even down to the production. Like if you go to the top of the charts, you see the frequencies of these beats, man. They're on the low end, and
right.
That's one of the reasons why hip hop's not, you know, that favorable. Like, but in my opinion alone, because frequency plays a huge part in our mood, our feelings, and all of these things. So, if you know, you couple dark trap beats with, you know, depressing and murderous music, then, you know, not everybody's gonna want to hear that.
Right.
Over and over, and especially if everybody's doing it. Come on, you got to do something new.
There's a disconnect. There's a disconnect. Exactly. We're not connecting on emotional level, partying level, and just chilling, nodding your head. But like you said, man, I think we're missing
substance
and the emotional connection.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, the music's out. So let me just tell you something too. By the way, that music, don't get it twisted. That music is out there, but you got to understand, places like Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, they're all pushing already. Everyone who's ever pushed. You know how hard it is for me to find like an underground artist? I have over 2,000 songs in my iPhone, in my Apple, on my iPhone right now,
right,
that I can just shuffle and play forever and never hit the same song twice. But a hobby of mine is to try to find music that nobody has heard, and that's how I sharpen my skills.
Right.
So I would spend hours, literally, I'm not even kidding, guys. I'd come home from work 9 o'clock at night, and I'm up till 2 in the morning just listening to music, scattering through stuff. But it's so hard to find it because that algorithm is so controlled.
Right.
So controlled.
Okay.
So I feel like that's also
a part of it. That plays a part. Okay. Let's talk about the golden age of hip hop. Excuse me. As I was touching on our artists and acts like Outkast and Common and Mos Def. I think back then artists were a little more open to doing something new than to just staying in a box. You know, as it pertains to hip hop. You know, because there's a lot of different artists, but when we're speaking on hip hop, a lot of them were open to pushing the envelope. If you get what I'm saying, like Outkast with their mix of acoustic drums and jazz licks, you know, mixed with some synthesizers and things like that. But nowadays, like I said, it's heavy trap stuff, heavy 808s, heavy synth. I mean, I love synths. I love 808s. You know what I mean? But give us something new. Give us some flavor. Give us some live, you know, human interaction stuff where...
You know, I think this circles back to what we were talking about earlier, back to the lyricism.
Yeah.
The golden age, you know, there was a lot of lyrical.
Huge.
Like that if you weren't lyrical, you weren't played on the radio.
But what's lyrical to you? Give me a line.
All right,
that's like,
listen, I'm not gonna give any lines. I'm just gonna explain to you what lyrical is.
But why not give me a line? like you
because
don't have your favorite line?
everyone gives. That's the first thing. See, perfect example. You're telling me to everyone says the same thing. Okay. Yo, give me a line.
Okay.
Give me a line.
All right.
Right? I can still make the point. I'm going to say this. I'm going to get the point across, but just in a different form. And that's what the problem with hip hop is. They're telling you things, but it's how can you bend words? How can you break down a 4-syllable word into 4 separate syllable words?
Right.
How can you double entendre, triple entendres, you know? How can you say something the way everyone else was saying it, but way more better and way more delivery? And it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly.
It's how you say it. You can Snoop Dogg is a dope rapper.
Right.
But Snoop Dogg's vocal range is insane.
Right.
Which is why he's such the way he is. He can say anything and it would sell because he captured the art of it's not what you say, it's how you say it. The swag you put into it, your
Pretty
style.
much.
Plus, he actually lives what he rap about. So you'll never catch Snoop Dogg looking dumb.
Right,
Never.
right,
I've never
right.
seen that man, how everyone would say, caught lacking. Never.
Okay.
Never. So
I like that.
when you have that persona and you keep it real to your pen and you're saying things different, like if I have to go back and listen to your song again, or you say a bar and I'm like, holy fuck, I can't even listen what's coming after that. That's how I know. Because you can't teach that.
You can't.
And you have to say it naturally. You have to say it like
exactly.
Listen, I can tell if somebody is rapping and not really, even if your rapping is like not the best, if you say it with emotion and your delivery is there and you have that in it, it's gonna be dope.
Right.
It's gonna be dope. And I think that's what back in the day that's what it was.
Okay. So I don't have a back in the day reference or an example of what lyrical is to me, but I do have an updated reference. Right. My example would be this guy said, "The only time I take my time with it when it's the beef, and I swear I'm gonna cook up your soul." The only time I take my time with it when it's the beef, and I swear I'm gonna cook up your soul.
So break that down.
So the only time he goes slower, if he doesn't rush to do whatever the previous bar was talking about, it could be, getting to business or getting to money. The only time he takes his time with it when it's the beef, and I swear I'm gonna cook up your soul. Like, the only time I take but if you listen to it, the only time he takes his time, what is time? Time with the watch, but also time, the thing that you cook with, right?
Right.
The only time I take my time in it when it's the beef, and I swear I'm gonna cook up your soul. Beef, what's beef? Biggie made a whole record about it, right? But then what else? What is beef again? It's the steak.
Right.
And I swear I'm gonna cook up your soul food, but I'm gonna cook up your soul. So, you know.
Right. So that was a really good updating example, and
that's actually my line, bro.
Right. So that's
lyrical.
I knew why we got along. But
lyrical.
you see how so much meaning there is to that, and so many ways.
Yeah.
There's so many angles.
Right.
So many angles.
Right.
And that's the art form to me of hip hop.
Yeah.
Not, of course, yes, it's rhyming words, but it's telling a story, which we all know. But more importantly, what a lot of people don't is literally the example you just gave.
Yeah.
That was dope. See, man, that's something I gotta like listen to like 10 times and like even read it as it goes along.
Featuring myself, V Ali. It's on all platforms.
Shout out V Ali.
I swear, last year that was my favorite record that I did.
This year it's gonna be my favorite record.
There it is. So I remember when he sent me the beat. I was in my room, and this was like after 2 days of meeting him. Fame, shout out to Fame Life. We was at the smoke event, and that's when I met V Ali. He was like, yo, he was telling me what he did, and he's like, yo, he would love to collab. I was like, yo, send me something. 2 days later, he sends me Coming Through. I hear as soon as I heard the hook, I'm like, yo, I gotta go crazy on this. And then, you know, the opportunity presented itself. So I did. I snapped, and still it's one of my favorite features. Anytime anybody hears it, they're like, yo, you killed that. You know, so now when I'm making records, I know, okay, that is the bar that I'm going against. Because that, if you listen to the whole verse, bro, every line, I'm giving you something to think about, you know, to where like, wait, what is he talking about? Oh, I know what he's talking about, but is he talking about something else also? You know what I mean? I'm just on my own high horse here, but
so I'm just gonna highlight, because you're saying some dope things that I just want to add to.
Right.
So pay attention, guys. You just said that bar is the bar that you have to go against. And I love that. And I'm going to tell you why. That's also back to why rappers were more competitive back then.
Yeah.
They weren't only going bar for bar against each other. Mm-hmm. They were going bar for bar against themselves. Anytime, if I were to ever get on a record, right? Any record, I don't care if you give me 4 bars. Yeah. I'm going in there. We could be best friends. When that mic goes on, I'm in there to do a job, and that is to be the best MC that I can be.
Right.
Rapper, all right, but MC is, I feel like MC. I want to bring that word back too, like rappers and MC. I feel like MC, Mike, like it's just, I don't know, man. But yeah, back to that. When go against yourself, man, and that's how iron sharpens iron.
Yes, sir. So, speaking of, your favorite albums back in the 90s, do you have like an album that comes to mind, or something that, resonates with you still to this day? Like, maybe you get in your car and you got to play that. For me, it's The Score by Fugees. That's my go-to 90s album cut that I will play every year, no matter what. Just because it was a different type of sound that they were bringing, because they had that melodic element, because Lauryn Hill was such a songbird, and she also had lyrics, and I feel like Wyclef, his wordplay and his lyricism was just so vivid, and he always painted a picture in every record. But hands down, my favorite is Ready or Not, like out of all his verses that he ever spit. So a lot of good records came off of that album, and that would be mine, as far as like my favorite album from the 90s. What would be yours?
So the 90s was, I didn't really listen to, so fun fact, I didn't really listen to hip hop till after Biggie and Pac died.
Whoa.
So I kind of missed that whole thing. But ever
Okay.
since I heard about it, obviously I've been listening to those
Whoa.
two artists forever.
Mhm. What were you listening to, if you don't mind me asking? Like, what was it? Like were you listening to folk or?
So there was this radio station in New York that my mother used to listen to. It's called KTU, and it played all like the house music kind of things.
Okay.
So
okay.
I really got into that. That was something that I really liked beforehand. My sister was older than I am by 4 years. She would just change it to hip hop. Boom, change it to hip hop. My mom would be like, "Don't change it."
Shout out to your sister for putting you on game.
Put it back to like the house music.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
I listen to both now.
Okay,
like religiously.
Right.
But yeah, hip hop. The Locks, when they were playing, I forget the song. Jesus Christ. Anyway, on the radio at the time was a little before that Shine song came out.
Okay.
That's around that time. I started listening to hip hop, but I would have to go with Mobb Deep.
Shook Ones.
The album, The Infamous.
Okay, The Infamous
and Shook Ones Part 2 is it's such a dope song, but I want everyone to go to Shook Ones Part 1.
Right.
That beat, I mean, the Shook Ones Part 2 beat is obviously one of the most famous beats out there. I think it actually won an award of some type, or some type of recognition for being one of the like hardest, like the top #1 hip hop beat out there ever.
Okay.
Right? I read that somewhere, so I'm gonna have to like fact check myself after this.
Yeah.
But their style of rap, especially Prodigy,
right,
the energy he bring,
right,
the way he delivered. Nas had a lot of that too, but just that kid was so rugged. They were both so raw, rugged, and I lived there, so I can't relate as much as what they were going through, but I understood a lot of it. Right. So I just think Mobb Deep, The Infamous, that has to be my favorite album. Shook Ones Part 1, everybody.
So they were from your city.
I'm from Brooklyn. They're from Queens.
Okay, they were from Queens.
They're from
what part of Brooklyn are you from?
Park Slope, Bensonhurst. I was back and forth to those neighborhoods constantly my whole life. I was born in Staten Island, and then I would just go. Then I lived in Brooklyn, like at the age of 8, and then 25. When I was 25, I moved back to Staten Island for like 3 years.
Okay.
But yeah, New York was a crazy. It was a good time. It was a fun place. Definitely people. They were really selling CDs out there on the side of the street. Like the cops would come, they would close up the blanket with all those bootlegs. That's how we didn't have money growing up, so that's how I bought everything I ever listened to.
We need to bring that back, man. Bring back that.
Buy a CD, man. Go a cassette tape, man. I wish I could have collected like cassette tapes. And one thing I want to mention, and we should talk about this too on the next one. There is not a lot of hip hop memorabilia out there. Have you ever like looked just for anything? There's like no.
I wonder why that is.
There's like nothing.
Wonder why that is. Well, maybe we'll know. Maybe we could track that down, and we'll talk about it on the next one. Where the fuck is the hip hop memorabilia?
Yeah, who has it? And where is it? It's under a church somewhere.
Somebody got it.
Yo, somebody got it.
Yeah.
Yo, you let us know. You call 1-800.
Find that memorabilia, motherfucker. So the influence of hip hop on the culture, dog. The influence of hip hop. Right now we're at the 50-year mark, like 50 years of hip hop. I'd like to think that the time that hip hop came was when the world was ready for rebels and artists to bring forth just a new generation of artists, and a new generation of rebellion, a new generation of protest, because it was born in New York back in the day when, you know, DJing was like the most important thing to a hip hop artist, to just any MC. Without a DJ, you was just some guy that could rap on a mic.
It was poetry.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's poetry.
Pretty much. Poetry with no music behind it. You might just need to get a beatboxer. So, you know, to be brought up during the crack epidemic, you know, back when motherfuckers were still getting hosed and dogs sicked on them and shit. Like to today, people aren't getting hosed, but they still getting lynched. And hip hop is stronger than ever.
I think the influence of hip hop is definitely community build and bringing people that would never stand in a room together.
Shit, hip hop brought us together.
My point exactly.
Right.
So I think hip hop is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hip hop beef is dope as long as it's safe, and you just keep it to the lyrics and on all good fun. But I think of all the movies you watch. Think of what's playing at the gym besides the house music. It's definitely the hip hop. A lot of hip hop songs can motivate, and I'm sure a lot of people out there would agree with me, that will motivate you more than any other genre of music.
Exactly.
So I really think hip hop is a lot more. I mean, we spoke like lyricism is very important. There's so much layers. Hip hop is just a range of emotion. Mm-hmm. It can make you feel sad, happy, like go-getting, just chilling at home, smoking, anything. Like I just feel like it's definitely the soundtrack genre to my life.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. Yeah, man. That's us in a nutshell, man. Villain Talk, we here. Brought to you by MF Holy Land and 90s Culture. I'm your boy, Haran Ra.
Yo, and this is Prez One. Don't forget, follow all socials at 90 Culture, at 90 Culture Management, at MF Holy Land. You want to give them your...
Oh, yeah. Haran Ra, HERON_RA. Follow Robert Studios. Follow Robert Beats. We here. Family.
Yo, real quick, drop any suggestions or anything you want us to talk about, any questions about this podcast /show, write in the comments on YouTube, wherever this pops up. Give us some feedback, and we appreciate the love.
Yeah, of course. Stay blessed.
Peace.
One.